Yesterday, I shot a video about what I hope we will learn from the COVID-19 crisis to apply to our future. I hope we continue to practice good hygiene, and I hope we don't take human interactions for granted. I hope we don't take life for granted. I talked about quite a number of things yesterday. There's one thing I forgot to mention, which is that I hope we become more aware of just what we're putting into our bodies. When I was working at a tutoring center last year, I had a student who was constantly eating, and I had to tell him to please keep his food to his area because I have eczema. And to his credit, he was pretty good about it. But he would constantly ask me if certain foods would bother me. And he would phrase it like, "Is this salad okay?" And I would look at the salad. There were all sorts of toppings on it. The vegetables normally don't bother me, but there was salad dressing. He didn't have the label with him. There was croutons. He didn't have the label with him. I just had to tell him, just please be careful because I don't know. And he said, well, what about this? What about this? And the thing is, he said salad. And there's no such thing, right? There's no such plant that's called salad. It's not a chemical formula. There's no such thing as salad on the periodic table of elements. And he talks about it like it's one of those things, right? And it just goes to show how unaware people are of things that they put into their mouths, medicines that they take. I wish people would at least once in a while read a food label and Google some of the ingredients. What really struck me as funny is that I had a student who was studying chemistry, and he had never heard of ammonia before. He's about 15, 16 years old maybe. He doesn't know what ammonia is used for. He knows all the chemical reactions that ammonia can participate in. He's never heard of the dangers of mixing ammonia and bleach, but when I gave him the formulas for ammonia and bleach, he correctly anticipated what the chemical reaction could be. That's how funny it was. And it just goes to show how much ignorance there is around things that we touch, we put in our mouths, we put in our bodies. It just goes to show how much. Not long ago, even Donald Trump was suggesting we could drink ammonia and bleach. It just goes to show how much. And unfortunately, some people actually believed him. That's the crazy part of it. It just goes to show how much ignorance there is. And then sometimes I talk to some of my friends about my eating habits because I'm constantly having to refuse food because I have some of the foods I react violently to instantly. Other things, I have addictive personalities, and some of my friends tell me that they think everything is okay to eat in moderation. And depending on how close I am with this person, sometimes I'll end up in a debate that sounds like this, right? I'll go, "Do you ever find that you want to drink a few drops of gasoline or bleach or cyanide? You could probably take a small amount of cyanide and it might even have health benefits. Or has that ever crossed your mind?" I was like, well, I meant any food, right? I wouldn't take poison in moderation. How do you define food then? It's at the market. So you're going to let the FDA decide what is okay and what is not in moderation and not make your own judgment. You know that we all have different bodies, right? You know that one person's food could easily be another person's poison, right? Have you ever heard of anybody with a peanut allergy? And some of these people just don't take very good responsibility for their own health outcomes, right? And you hear somebody talk about how anything is okay in moderation, and then you look at their own health outcomes, right? Oftentimes you'll hear an obese person tell you that soda is okay in moderation, and they're drinking it, 5 times a day. And each time it's because there's some special event that's going on, right? They just heard some good news about Washington reopening. Oh my God, I gotta celebrate, right? Their best friend just died of COVID. I need to celebrate with soda. Right, it's just constant moderation of consuming soda and anything else, right? That they think is okay in moderation, and anything they could buy at the grocery store, right? They're letting the FDA decide what can go into their body, right? For some reason, the FDA has decided that bleach is not a very good beverage to be drinking, right? How about you let Donald Trump decide what you can drink in moderation? That would be fun, right? Wouldn't it? Okay. But getting along the lines of not taking good responsibility of their outcomes, I recently heard a discussion because of the coronavirus and all the stimulus. There were some people suggesting this could be a good time to introduce a universal basic income. I really don't want to bring up my opinion on this, but the debate centered around that because it would be given per citizen, some people would be tempted to have lots of children, right? Yeah, at the same time, not long ago, people were talking about how having children, like, it wasn't in their control, right? That's why we need to have abortion and all that. But yeah, if you introduce a universal basic, all of a sudden it's in their control, right? It just boils down to people don't want to take responsibility for the choices that could affect their health outcome, their economic outcome. I just find that really gross, right? I hope COVID-19 has shown us that we actually can take some control, right? We were talking about flattening the curve, and unfortunately, I don't see us learning our lessons, right? I've already traveled a little bit. I'm still practicing good hygiene, but everywhere where we've relaxed the rules, people have rebounded even higher than they started, right? I see a lot of just very antisocial, like very not so hygienic habits. I hate to mention them on the video, but you get the idea, right? People not taking responsibility of learning what they're doing, what they're putting into their bodies, or practicing good hygiene with their hands, just being a mess. Going out when they're sleep deprived, and so they end up not practicing very good hygiene. Obviously, people have been stuck at home. They haven't taken showers for weeks, and they've kind of gotten into the habit of not. I've noticed that the hygiene out there is just deteriorating, and unfortunately, in the counties that I've gone to where they've reopened, you can just tell people have not learned their lesson. And I'll never forget the way the student, he's studying chemistry, and he asked me if salad is okay, as if salad is like a chemical element. That was really funny. And it just goes to show we don't like to think about what goes into our body. We like to pretend it's all a dream and it doesn't matter. Thanks for watching.